Somewhat ironically, the Electro Dragon dies to lightning. This probably isn't the best for a 5 elixir card that doesn't actually distract units. He will often need to be spent, and then have another card to help him out on the ground so units don't just bypass him. You'll only have a maximum of 5 elixir to combo him with too, and if you look at the DPS cards that cost under 5 elixir, they're usually not a huge fan of the lightning spell either. A good point is that he will survive a fireball or poison paired with a zap spell, so in a meta where lightning is one of the least used spells, he might actually be okay. I guess you might be able to use him to bait out lightning, but even then he doesn't provide too much value unless he stays alive for a long while, so maybe it's not completely beneficial. His raw damage is 159, which gives us the most satisfying interaction of one-tapping all 3 spear goblins. I don't think anything in Royale will ever beat it, it's just quality. Anyway, the most annoying thing about this card is that its damage will not stack. What I mean by this is that every shot will only ever do 159 damage. If you look at Electro Wizard, his damage will be doubled up if there's not another unit in range of him. The Electro Wizard does a moderately good job against tanks because of this, and in 1v1 situations, Electro Wizard is a great card to use on defense. However, the Electro Dragon is less efficient. He does have more potential targets, but this is somewhat wasting a deck slot, especially against control decks that prefer to attack with 1 unit at a time. Talking of archetypes, I truly believe he's one of the best counters to beat down. It's so difficult to get around the back of a tank to kill off support units, but the Electro Dragon doesn't need to get round to the back to kill a support unit. As long as the support is within 3.5 tiles of the tank, the Electro Dragon can hit it freely. He also does an excellent job against siege, as he will usually hit the building as well as the defending units while sat in the sky. That's sort of how you want to unlock his full value, because at 1v1s he really sucks. He only does 75 DPS and gives a stun. So imagine a singular archer with a repeated zap spell. Against most units that cost 5 elixir or more, he's not defending too much damage, especially seeing as he doesn't distract the ground units. Without the tower helping, he would need 9 shots to take out a 4 elixir Hog Rider. That's almost 19 seconds spent on a singular Hog Rider. Against bigger and tankier units, he gets even worse. A giant would take him 45 seconds to kill alone, which is a quarter of a game spent on this one interaction, and these 2 troops cost the same amount of elixir. He really does need to be hitting multiple units, otherwise he's pretty trash. I made this point earlier, but he probably will need other units when facing a multi-unit attack. Again, this sets you up for lightning value, and to me the card has no real usage case because of how it functions. It can't face a single unit because its damage doesn't stack, and it can't face multiple units because then it needs another weak DPS card with it, and that just dies to lightning with it. And so there's not really much you can do in either situation. Anyways, let's look towards the good side of this card. He will give a stun to everything that he touches. This makes him incredibly good at stopping princes, and not to mention Sparky, even though none of these cards are really in the meta. Stuns are usually pretty good in this game, because it slows opposing units down by a percentage of the dragon's attack speed. The Electro Dragon's slow totals to around 24%, because he has a hit speed of 2.1 seconds and offers a 0.5 second stun. I actually worked that out frame by frame, you're welcome. Before we conclude this video, I wanted to get into a bit more detail about his special mechanic, his bolts. His first bolt always stays targeted, but numbers 2 and 3 will change depending on what's closest. It's sort of hard to show in a video, but I thought I'd mention it anyway. You can easily use his 3 bolts to activate your king tower, by placing pretty much any singular unit behind your tower whilst he's attacking it. I'm sort of just going to skip this over though because I'm sure you've all seen enough of these clips on Twitter and whatnot. The bolts can move 3.5 tiles each, giving him effective potential attack range of 10.5 tiles. However, this can be boosted even more. Because a building has a 3x3 tile hitbox, except Tesla, a dragon will connect on the cornermost tile. If you set up 3 buildings in a row, then the dragon's bolt will leave on the middle tile, giving an extra 3 tiles of range. This effectively gives it 13 tiles of range and makes it the furthest hitting unit in the game. That last point wasn't exactly practical knowledge, but hey, it's fun to know. In conclusion, I think the Electro Dragon is an amazing card conceptually, although I think Supercell have missed out on what this card needed to be. I don't think any card that costs 5 elixir will be able to function on 75 DPS, even though it has a stun and a potential of 225. I think this card will be almost impossible to fit into decks, just because it's 5 elixir and dies to lightning without offering the potential to shut down a wide variety of cards. I could see it being buffed to 4 elixir with some stat changes, or maybe even the mechanic change to make its damage stack. To me, it's very underwhelming, but I'm not a pro player, so could be completely wrong on this one. Finally, a shout out to Laggy Ninja for today's featured comment about RG. If you didn't know, you can actually kite an RG in the same way you kite a giant now due to its smaller range. I never really covered this because I thought it naturally made sense, but I thought I should shout it out for you boys watching this video. Once more, I hope you enjoyed the content and learned something new. If you did, be sure to smash that fatty subscribe button, and apart from that, peace.